Hello, everyone. I think this is working. I see green lights in OBS, so that means it must be working. I see green lights on the computer, so it must be true. How's it going, everybody? Happy Sunday. Yeah, there's nothing worse than not muting yourself on your other computer. That's awesome. We're professionals here. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. I'm going to be streaming some CK stuff for a bit here. Not too terribly long. I have other things going on today that I want to address, but I want to get and playing the CK for all because it's been forever. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, Firebird. I had the feedback loop going. The feedback loop going. Yeah. How's it going? Firebird. How the hell are you, man? Good to see you. Deckard811. Kopatush. Hello. Hello from Russia. A hello back to Russia. Dobro Pozhalovat. Dobro Pozhalovat. That's basically all the Russian I remember at the moment. Yeah, we're going to play around in the CK for all because it's been an eternity. I kind of took a hiatus from working on any modding stuff for a while. Obviously, I've been playing Outer Worlds for the most part. That's been my bright, shiny object obsession as of late, but I'm just in the mood to get back into working on this mod, so here we are. I was going to do some work on this cell today anyway, and I figured, it's been a while since I've streamed anything. Let's do a little stream for a couple hours and see what happens. Очень приятно. Thank you. Yeah, my Russian is not what it used to be. I know a few phrases, and that's about it. Used to know enough to get my face slapped, but I forgot all those wonderful phrases. So, here we are. This is, for those of you not familiar with what this mod is going to be, it's, right now, I doubt I'll change it because I can't come up with another name for it. It's going to be called Commonwealth Underworld. And if you're familiar with A World of Pain from Fallout 3 New Vegas, essentially it's going to be a large network of linked interior cells that will let you travel from one end of the Commonwealth to the other. Oh, I should have opened up this other file here. Just bear with me 1 second. Yeah, I actually have a map started here. Here we are. This is, I kind of borrowed this map from the internet someplace. So essentially, this is just a rough sketch of the network as it is right now. You'll start off up here at the USAF Olivia satellite station. What happened to my... Hello? I just lost all my... Hang on a minute. Yeah, I'm a professional here. Why did my thingies disappear? I had circles here. I don't know where they are. Let me close this up and start it again. There we are. Yeah, the circles I had disappeared. So essentially, you'll start off up here at the satellite USAF Olivia station. And network of cells will bring you all the way down towards Boston, around downtown. The red circles indicate where you're going to be able to exit back into either the exterior world space or connect to a vanilla cell. I do have, like, right now, I think there's 16 connections to either the exterior world space or vanilla cells, vanilla interior cells. And you'll end up way down here in the glowing sea. So you'll be able to go from north end of the Commonwealth out to the Boston airport and all the way down to the glowing sea. And this is kind of a rough diagram, which I had to make for myself to keep track of what the hell I'm doing here. So these are all the cells that I have right now. Some of the cells aren't on the network, or on the map here that are in the network, because they're smaller cells. They just kind of branch off to these yellow boxes here. So there's roughly 38 cells in total right now. And we're only be working on one today, because 38, there's no way I'm going to be able to do 38 cells in a day. So we're going to focus on one. Let me get the chat window back here so I can see what the hell's going on. This cell is going to be called the Lost Safehouse. And it's going to be kind of a, the theme is going to be, and each of these cells is going to have a different layout, different design. As people have wanted to compare it to Subway Runner. Well, it's going to have Subway cells in it, but it's going to have a hell of a lot more than just Subway cells. Everything is going to every cell is going to have its own unique design. I mean, there are going to be multiple subway cells, but I think the subway cells are actually less than a third of what I have. Everything else is kind of a unique design. This one, not quite so unique. It's actually going to be based on the NCR safehouse from Fallout New Vegas, because I love that cell. And I've actually got the New Vegas GEC opened up here. So this cell, I think we actually started this on stream a while back. We put the walls together and everything. Let me actually put the ceiling on its own layer so I could turn it off and make it easier to work with. Layout is more or less exactly the same as the NCR safehouse. I think we put this together on stream a while back. So the theme for this cell, it's going to be a railroad safehouse, but as the name implies, it's been lost. The Institute will have compromised it, and my plan is, not to give away spoilers for the mod, but when you first come into this cell, there's going to be a battle going on between the railroad agents and the maybe a couple coursers and some synths. So basically, when you show up, the Institute's going to be raiding this place and attacking it. So, and you'll have to hopefully fight your way through it, but that's a long ways off before I get that far. But it is going to be a railroad-themed outpost that has been compromised by the Institute. And my goal for today was to just kind of start some preliminary decoration, maybe start off with little lighting. I essentially want to copy, replicate as best I can in the Fallout 4 assets and maybe some of my own custom stuff. I want to kind of make this give the same look and feel as the NCR safehouse. The only thing I did add to this, the Fallout 4 version of this, is I added a basement. Because it needed a basement. And it needed another way to get to the next cell. You enter the cell down in this cave area here. You come in through a drainage pipe. This drainage pipe is actually a load door to the adjoining cell. You'll come up through this network of little cave passages here. There's a kind of a fork here. You get two directions you can go. This way will kind of represent the way that the railroad would have come in and out of this place. There's going to be an elevator here, but it's going to be kind of destroyed, like the Institute destroyed it to keep anybody from escaping. But there's also this escape tunnel down here that goes to the next cell. So pretty much what I want to do today is work on the lighting and using the New Vegas GEC as a reference, kind of replicate the layout of all the furniture and everything, and maybe tweak a few things. The deviations that I'm going from the original design, like this back here in New Vegas, this is just an empty room with some broken shelves and some fake generators. And that's actually going to be a bathroom here. I'm going to put generators and stuff in the basement. I'm actually probably going to extend this area out here. I was going to go this way, but it kind of runs into the cave part. So I'll probably extend this out a little bit, put some generators down here, kind of like make this as like an intel gathering area. And the connection to the escape tunnel that takes you to the next cell. The Ghoul Town. Now, we're not going to be doing the Ghoul Town today, but we might go take a look at that later. We got time. I actually have a subway cell started. I'm about maybe 3/4 of the way doing the decorations and the lighting and whatnot on that. So depending on how much we get done here today, maybe we can go take a look at that. Because I won't want to go in game and see what we do today. So I guess it's a good time as any to get started. So I am going to replicate as best I can. I'm going to replicate the New Vegas stuff here. And the New Vegas GEC, actually, I know I showed this the last time we were looking at this cell. Take a look at this little building here. Actually, I think it wants to turn here. So, if you've played Fallout New Vegas, you know the NCR safe house. You come down this path here. It's basically inside a cave. You get this little house here, which you enter. But you don't see this in the game, but in the GEC you flip it around, and it says Lamplight Caverns. It's actually the assets from Fallout 3 for Little Lamplight, which I thought was pretty cool. And the actual safe house, the mesh, it's actually one mesh here. Unlike Fallout 4, they actually made full meshes for all the buildings. You can see this here. It's labeled as Lamplight Interior Office, so I don't remember that from Fallout 3, but it's been so long since I've been to Little Lamplight. It's been years since I've been there. But that's what we're going to replicate. Dark Goth 68. What kind of mod is this? It is a interior cell dungeon network along the lines of World of Pain from Fallout 3 and New Vegas, if you're familiar with those. It's a large network. I've got 38 cells roughly right now. All connected, all interior cells. You'll be able to go from one end of the Commonwealth to the other. And we're just going to do some decorating on this one today and maybe take a peek at some other stuff later on. So I do have the... I have a whole other monitor here. I've got all my my layers palette, my cell palette. So if I might be reaching over here to show you guys what I'm working on. Right now I've got the ceiling on this on its own layer. Just because these are actually, I think these are workshop pieces. And they render on both sides. So if you actually want to do any work with them in your in the render window, they kind of get in the way. So I put all these ceiling pieces on their own layer, so I can hide them. And when we're in here, you might see... Let me turn this back on here. You might see some gaps along the edge here, but that's only because that layer is turned off. Even with the layer turned off, they will render in-game. Some common misconception people have working with layers in the CK, that if you turn the layer off in the render window in the CK, that it's going to hide the stuff in the game, and that's not the case at all. It's just a visual thing. It's kind of like layers in Photoshop. You can turn things off to get out of your way while you're working on something else, and that's pretty much what it is. But it comes in really handy if you have a bunch of items that you want to tie to like an enable marker. You can have everything disabled on one layer. It makes it a lot easier to group things together, and then you can turn off the other layers, select what you want. It's one of the best additions they've had to the CK since the older versions of the Gex, because they didn't have them, and it was painful to work on that stuff. Hey Daniel, how you doing? Good to see you, man. So let's I'm gonna actually start with getting these lights together here and kind of replicating the lighting in the New Vegas, in the NCR safe house. Everything is pretty much these little light bulbs, and you can see they actually have part of a mesh. They have the little wire coming off them. With Fallout 4, you know, a lot of these meshes are just lazy, to be honest. They just cut so many corners on these. The light bulb meshes are just the light bulbs, and that's pretty much it. So I want to add these splines to them. I do like the way that they implemented splines in this. They're pretty damn cool, but they take a little bit of work to set up. So I guess we're going to start with that. I have some temporary lighting in here that we're gonna address here shortly. Let me turn my light boxes off. I have all my light boxes on a separate layer as well to get those out of the way. We'll talk about light boxes in a little bit for those of you guys that aren't familiar with working on those. So I think I'm just going to do things very easily here for these rooms. I'm just going to duplicate all these parts here. So let's move these out of the way here into the other room, and we'll talk about what's going on with these. So they're just the basic light bulb parts. I'm going to move these down so they're not all in the same spots. A little bit of variety in the placement of some things. Just kind of give each one a little... Even though they're the same parts, I kind of like moving things around and giving things a little bit of a distinct positioning so that they don't look samey. Even though they're the same things, we'll put them in different positions. So I've got basically just these the light bulb meshes that look like they're lit, they're glowing. And yeah, Daniel, this is the underground. We're gonna do some decoration work on the Lost Safe House today, and if I got time, I'll show you guys the subway cell I've been working on the past couple days. Starting to get into doing some decorating, and I'm very glad to be moving into that phase of it, because I was really getting burned out doing the other stuff. This is you guys are just joining us. This is kind of a rough schematic of the network as it is. There's roughly 38 cells, and yeah, as I went through, I colored in yellow the ones that I had put together and connected. But now I have to go in and fill everything in. They're basically just empty cells at the moment. So, and then I got to do nav meshing and NPCs and patrol markers and all that good stuff, and then a whole bunch of testing. So it's going to be a while yet. So, a couple light bulbs, and this is just one of the machine kit parts. It's a breaker box. So essentially, I'm just going to be attaching some splines to those. Let's go add a couple more of these to this cell over here. Or this room, rather. This is going to be like a little ratty bathroom. Oh, I didn't get the circuit breaker box. Yeah, I'm going to have to do something with this one. You know what? Let me hide Photoshop and Illustrator. If I have those open in my second monitor, I can't see, because I have all the toolbars and palettes in my second monitor and it covers up the chat window, so I'm going to have to hide those so I can see if anybody's squawking at me. Alright, so just kind of haphazardly put this stuff in. This place is supposed to be kind of, my thought is it's kind of a makeshift intern location. My thought was it would be a place that, since the railroad would bring a runaway synths down the elevator, kind of keep them here for a while. You know, the safe house name kind of implies that, and then they'll send them along their way to other locations. But like I said earlier, the place is going to be compromised, and the Institute's going to know it's here, so it's not going to be clean and pristine. So I got some temporary lighting in here right now. So this is, you know what, let's get rid of this one. And I'm just going to duplicate the lights that I got in here, because I have the light volume, or the light levels, volume, yeah. Light levels pretty much where I want them. So we're going to kind of line these up. Kind of around the, I will be going back and putting some shadowed sources in here. I'm just using the non-shadowed ones for now. You don't want to put too many shadowed lights into a cell, because the game can kind of puke. And depending on how good someone's computer is, they may end up with a slideshow. Like if you make every single light source in a cell as a shadow light source, there's a good chance that somebody's going to end up with a slideshow. The frame rates are going to tank. So I kind of trying to keep, if I have a cell like this, it's not so much a problem because it's so small. But I try to limit a cell like this. I probably would put more than any 4 or 5 light shadowed light sources in, if that many. Because just because it works good on your computer doesn't mean it's going to work on somebody playing the game on a potato. Alright, so we're going to leave those there. And I want to check out what I got for light boxes. Now, light boxes, these white things here, what they do is you can link your light sources, your light bulb markers here, you link those to the light box, and it will constrain the lights from bleeding through the walls like they love to do in this game. It's an engine bug. Well, not really a bug, it's just a limitation. The light tends to bleed through the walls. You probably noticed that in the settlement building. You put a light, and you can kind of see over in this area here, that's a light from the basement that's coming, that's leaking up from the bottom. And the same thing that happens in the settlements that you build. You'll build, let's say you build a 2-story shack, you put a light down in the basement, and you see it bleeding up through the floor. Workshop mode, there's not a damn thing you can do about it. It's just the way it is. It just works. But at least in the CK, you can use the light boxes. You link the light boxes to you link the light sources to the light boxes, and wherever the bounds of the light box are, that's where the light's gonna be confined to. So let's go knock out a couple light boxes here. So it's probably easier if I turn the lights off. So basically, you select your light source, and then you come up to toolbar up here. It says create a light box. You just click that, and you can't see anything now until you zoom out. And we just created a light box, and I already have a couple here. This one's linked to the hall, the lights in the hall, I believe. Did I do those already? Yeah. You can see these white trails that come off the lights, off the light markers. That means they're linked to the light box. And yeah, it's a Bethesda feature. It just works. It's not a bug, it's a feature. So we got the other one here. So that's how you can do one light. But if you have multiple light sources, what you can do is you just select it. And there's a couple different ways you can do this. And I'm going to show you the way I like because I just think it's easier and quicker, and you can do multiple lights. So you can double click on the light source, and you come over here to the linked ref tab. You can zoom out, double click in this empty box here, and you get the choose reference window. Select your light reference. You click on this button here, click on the light box, and then you have to add a keyword. And the one we want to use is lightbox link, and this is basically tells the game that that light is linked to this light box. Hey Henry, how you doing? Which you can do it this way, as there's nothing wrong with doing it this way at all. But if you have multiple light sources, like if I put 4 more lights in here, and I didn't want to do that every time, even if I only have the one like I'm doing here, I like using the batch action window just because it's easier. You hit the dash key, at least on a US keyboard you do. If you have another language, I'm not sure what key it would be. But hit the dash, select your light, hit the dash key. There's the batch action window. Now, if I had 4 lights in here, I could select all 4 lights, and they'd all be listed here. And you just come over here, you set linked ref. It's kind of like what we just did. Select your reference, double click on the light box. Up. Come down, and now you have all this whole list of keywords here. You have to add the keyword, otherwise it's not going to work. Now what you can do, instead of having to scroll through all the way to the L's, if you just start typing. Yeah, see, I just screwed it up because I can't see what keys I'm typing. Just start typing light, lightbox link comes up, and that's the only keyword that starts with light, so it goes right to it. And once you have that selected, just click do, and we just link that light source to the light box. Now this has this white line on it. So we got to adjust this, because right now, I turn off the markers. See where the light box ends here? That's where the light source is going to end up. The light's going to get cut off there. We definitely don't want that. So we're going to drag this thing out a little bit here. And I'm not going to get too picky with these. The lights are going to be pretty dim. I just don't want them bleeding through the walls. And what you might see, since these lights are pretty bright out here, you're going to kind of see how you see this demarcation line here. That's where the light boxes end. That's the only reason you're seeing that is because these lights out here are probably about 4 times brighter than what I have in here. We're going to dim these down. That'll help hide that a little bit. So we still have those lights shining up through the bottom. We'll get to... I'm actually going to delete these because I'm not going to be working on this today. So there's no reason to have these down here bleeding up through. We're going to focus on the upstairs today. So if we come in here, yeah, see, that's not bleeding through anymore. So we are good to go there. And let's drop a save here since it's... You always want to save every few actions that you make in this CK. It's a good idea to make a save because you never know. Knock on wood, mine's actually pretty stable. I know people say that it crashes on them a lot. I have to say, my CK has been super stable. In the years I've been using it, it's almost 3 years, over 3 years now I've been using it. I can probably count on 2 hands. Both my hands, all my fingers, at times it's crashed on me. And it's usually because I double click on something too many times. I've noticed that if I do a Control Z to undo things too many times too quickly, it crashes. Certain times if I'm duplicating a trigger, like an empty trigger box, if I double click on one of those too quickly, it crashes. So I try and avoid doing that, and it's been pretty damn stable. Hey Danny, how the hell are you? Danny loves this game. Well, it was either this or Hello Kitty Island Adventure, and I thought this would probably be more interesting. Because I'd have to install Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. How you doing, Danny? Good to see you. Alright, so we got this first set of lights in here. We've got a light box, couple lights. Let's add a couple. Actually, it looks like I got another light down here. I just want to get rid of these lights downstairs here for now. I don't... Because I'm not going to be able to tell how our lighting looks Oh, and it's a game. All right, that's for damn sure. What am I doing here? All right, so that's that. I'm getting confused here. What lights are what? I'm actually going to turn this ceiling off again because I can't see what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, see, my light box isn't over far enough. We got to take care of that. Hey, Tony, how you doing? Welcome to Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Yeah, all the years I've been playing this game, I still haven't leveled up in it yet. I can't figure out quite how the skill system works in this creation kit thing. All right, I think that's going to be the... What room is this now? Okay, that's going to be the bathroom. We don't have a light box there yet. All right, so I'm still getting... Okay, these lights are what's bleeding through. This bleed over here is from light in this room here. We'll be taking care of that next. Do you plan connecting the subway like listening post? Nope. No, it's not going to interact with any of my mods. That's more trouble and effort than I want to put into things. I'd have to make patches, and I'm not going to get into that. I am going to make this compatible with Frost. I'm going out of my way to do that because I play Frost. And I keeping an eye on where things go in relation to Subway Runner because I don't want to conflict with that either. I don't use it because it has some performance issues, and I felt it was a little samey for my liking. But it is a cool mod. A lot of people use it, so I'm going to try at least those two mods compatible with Frost and Subway Runner. I'm not really adding much to the exterior spaces, basically just load doors. That way I don't have to mess around with worrying about breaking precombines or anything. Yeah, the intelligence perk, fast mounting, endurance perk take half the stress points from crashing. Yep, exactly. Crashing without saving. That'd be the next tier. Is that you less stress if you don't save, which is why even though I just jinxed myself by saying it doesn't crash, I'm still going to plan on saving quite a bit. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go and add a couple of these splines. So what I want to do is duplicate this. Now this one, I can never remember what the hell these damn things are called. And why I can't open this one here to... It won't let me... Do I have a window open someplace? I am double-clicking on this and I'm not getting... What the hell's my reference window? Spline endpoint marker. Let's just try adding a new one. That's pretty weird. Spline endpoint marker. For some reason, hang on a minute here. I wonder if it's in a different window. Or different... Just give me 1 second. I'm not getting a render window, or a reference window here. Where the hell are my reference windows? Yeah, that's the, is it the Mark Morgan, the Vault Archives, the Fallout 1 and 2 soundtrack? Seems pretty good for streaming. This is really weird. I'm not getting... I'm not getting a reference window on this. Okay. Alright, maybe I can't get them from splines. Alright. That's interesting. I thought maybe this had a reference window. Never mind. It's right there. So, these are just markers for the spline points. Apparently they don't have render or reference window activation on them. Alright. I'm an idiot. I just learned something. So, this is called a spline endpoint marker. So, if you want to make... Hey, Gadosin, how you doing? This is just a little work in progress on a mod I've been working on for many months and will continue to be working on for many months. Commonwealth Underworld is going to be called. So you see the splines here. You see them in the game, all the electrical wires and things. That's what we're going to make here. And to get those, you need 2 of these endpoint markers. These are going to define the endpoints for the splines, hence the name spline endpoint marker. So you grab 2 of these, and you kind of line them up where you want. You got, I can click off of there. You got this little red marker there. That's where the actual spline endpoint's going to be. So I kind of want to line that. You can always move this around later, but let's kind of get it close to where we want it. So from these light bulbs, I want to have the splines kind of come down and hang down to these circuit breaker boxes here. So you select both of them, and you hit the P key. Oh, select 2 unconnected endpoint markers. Well, that's what we're doing. At least I thought that's what we're doing. There we are. I didn't have them both selected. So with both of these selected, you hit the P key, and then you get this little pop-up window here. And these are all the different kinds of splines you can add. And this is really cool, too. You can actually add rope. So if you want to have rope connecting some things, I never knew that was part of this until I started messing around with the splines. I think that's pretty cool. And I think there's all these different cables. There's black cable, there's metal cable, and there's red. And if you're doing stuff in an exterior cell, if you use the wind one, I think like when you get a storm where the wind picks up, that's when you see these things start to kind of wave in the wind a little bit. They actually have physics on them, as far as I know. I've never actually used them, but I think that's what they do. So we're just going to go with a plain old black spline here. And let's drop the thickness down to 1 to start with. Double click that. So now we have our happy little spline. You can kind of see how taut it is. Yeah, it's the subway-like one, but better. Yeah, exactly, Godos, and that's it. Yeah, it's the mod that I had the video out earlier this week. Just doing some more work on it. So is it Control? Yeah, if you Control, Alt, and S, see how this is dropping down? You can control the slack on it. So we're going to drop it down a little bit because I don't want them to be all taut and everything. And if you hit S, yeah, hit S, you can see how it's getting really thick or really thin. We're going to make these nice and thin here. So we've got that one done. Firebird says, I wanted to see what this looked like. Left a like as well. We'll head out again. Hey, no worries, man. I'm never going to use it being... Oh, no. Well, you need to ascend, my friend. But if you're going to head out, Firebird, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. And if you want to watch the rest of us, the video will be up. I'm probably not going to go too long today. It just works kit, exactly. But yeah, thanks for stopping in, man. It's always good to see you. So we got the first 2 done there. Let's go ahead and add. Now we can't connect another spline. That's the one thing I don't like. Like if I wanted to add like a network of these, I actually have to add another spline. So you can't just add another one and connect this one to it. They have to be 2 unconnected splines, otherwise it'll nope on you. So I'm just going to duplicate this one and kind of just almost going to move it off to the side a little bit here, just so that it's not overlapping this one, and I can kind of get a better idea of which one I'm actually working with. We're going to come over to this one. We can adjust that later. So we'll go hit this. Got both those connected. Hit the P key. We'll go with 1, and we'll just put a 1 there. I have no idea what 1 does for slack. Oh, okay. 1 makes them very slacky. Little too droopy for my liking. So Alt Control S. We'll bring that one up, and I like the thickness on that. That's good. And let's just line this up here. Turn the markers off. I can kind of see where that is. Let's bring that up a little bit more. I kind of want them to get into the base. Oh. Yeah, I kind of want them to hit the base there a little bit more, so that's probably good. And this one definitely needs some attention. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I think that's probably good there. Alright, that'll work. Good enough for government work. So that's the splines for that room. Let's make a save. And let's go set up a light box in this one. I think this room, I'm only going to put one light bulb. This is going to be a bathroom. It's not going to get as much traffic. I don't think we need more than one light in here. And if it gets too dark, I can always put like a lantern or some candles or something, or one of my little makeshift lights from the old Fallout games that I've been using. How many lights do I actually have in this room here? I'm actually going to get rid of this one. And I'm just going to duplicate one of these since I already have the levels and everything the way I think they're going to go. Now, I am going to tweak... I'm still working on tweaking the lighting template for this. So, we go in today and look at this in game. The lighting template that I'm using, the fog settings and everything aren't exactly what I want them to be. So it's going to be subject to change at some point. Alright, so let's make another light box here. We did before. I have to get my light box layers. Did I actually put that one? Let me try something here. I'm trying to keep all my light boxes on one layer. No, I didn't. This one I screwed up, I think. Yeah, this one's on the wrong layer. So what I'm doing I have my light boxes on their own layer. I put my light boxes, my lights, markers, and effects like fog and things like that on their own layer so I can turn them on and off because they do get in the way. Like if I want to be working on other things with markers like lights, those light boxes will get in the way. If I just turn that layer off, they're gone. But I didn't do that for this one. That's on the wrong layer. So what I need to do is, I'll bring this over here so you guys can see. If you end up if you're working with layers and you put something on the wrong layer, it's really easy to fix. You just come over your layers palette, activate the layer that you want to be the active layer, which is what this A is, and then you right click, go to layers, and select add selection to active layer, and bam. The item count here just jumped from 2 to 3. And now that one disappears with the other light boxes just the way that it should. Going to connect to all the cities. Not everything. Just for Godosin's. Hope I'm saying that right. Godosin. Let me know which way I'm supposed to say it. This is pretty much a rough map of what the network's going to be. You start off up in the north end of the Commonwealth at USAF Olivia. And the white lines indicate where the network, basically where you're going to be traveling to. The red circles indicate where there's exits to exterior cells or connections to existing vanilla cells, interior cells. I don't think I have all of the exits on this, though. Because I think there's 16 total. Actually, no, what have I got here? 1, 2. No, yeah, because there's 2 in Lexington. So this doesn't have all of them. I know I have 2 in Lexington. I got 2 at the airport, in the airport area, so I don't know that all of them are on this. But the red is where you would be able to exit into the exterior world space or connect to an interior cell. Like one of my cells connects to the interior of West Roxbury Station. The subway interior cell that's south of Boston. So, yeah. So, not everything's going to be connected. Like, it doesn't go to Good Neighbor. It does have an exit near Diamond City. It goes close to Good Neighbor, but I'm not going to touch Good Neighbor because a lot of mods make modifications to Good Neighbor, and I don't want to mess... I don't want to get into compatibility issues. I've got to switch back to... Hang on a second. I've got to hide this again so I can see the chat. Okay, cool. So, it's Godosin. Alright. Alright, so let's make our light box here. Make sure I got my layer connected, selected. Whatever the right word is, that's what I want. So there's our another light box. And then we'll just go ahead and... I want to make sure, yeah. This other one that we just made, I need to fix that because it goes down too far. Hits Starts going into the to the basement here. We don't want that. But I do want to make sure it covers the floor. Yeah, I think we're good. I think that's good. Yeah, this one's too low. Let's bring this up a bit. And it's got to connect out to here. Well, not quite far enough. See, there's a little bit of a gap there. That's probably good. So I think just that one light is... Actually, you know what? What I'm going to do... I just had an idea. This is... I was talking about earlier how to not have things be samey, even if you're using the same parts, not have everything be the same. I said I was only going to put one light in here, but what I think I'm going to do... Let me turn the ceiling back on here. Oh. Let's turn these other layers back on. Is this not on the right layer either? Yeah, my light... Hang on a second. Yep, this has to go on the light. I have a layer for my lights. This isn't on it. I don't think any of these are. Already bigger than Subway Runner. Looks awesome. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I played around with Subway Runner for a while, and besides having some really bad performance issues because it breaks pre-combines and the exterior cells it modifies, like downtown is horrible. I just felt it was a little samey for my liking because everything is more or less a Subway cell, and looks like they're built from the same template. And it's a cool as hell mod, and I want to play with it some more. I just couldn't get past the performance issues. My goal for this is to, I'm going to have a bunch of Subway themed cells, but I'm going to have a lot of other stuff too. It's not going to be all Subway stuff. I think maybe a third of the cells are going to have Subways in them. Hey, TC, how the hell are you? Outer Worlds. Oh, we'll be playing more Outer Worlds. I was just in the mood to come in and break Fallout 4, so that's what we're doing. But what I was going to say, it's good to see you, TC. How the hell are you, man? What I did say earlier about things not being samey and only having the one light in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to still have the one light. Let's see. I can't, I'm going to turn the ceiling off again. Unsub. You know you'll be back. As soon as that Outer Worlds comes back, you know you'll come back. Yeah, see, I don't want that to go in there. So I'm going to have the one light here. I'm actually going to put this there. But what I want to do is I'm going to have a broken light bulb over here. And then we're going to have a spline that just kind of hangs down straight. So like there was a working light in here, but for whatever reason the light bulb's broken and it doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to duplicate the on light, because right now, you turn the lights off, it kind of glows like it's actually lit. But if you select your item and you hit the Alt key, you can kind of, in your scroll wheel on your mouse, it will scroll through all the other items that are either above or below it. So there's our, you can see how it's changing here. I'm going to go with this broken light bulb right here. Unlit broken light bulb. So then we'll just have this one light giving light source to the room. I'm actually going to bring this light up a little bit. That looks a little dark to me. Yeah, 1.5. Let's bring this up to 25. See what that does. It just works. Yep, it just works. I don't have my meme set up for this. Oh, boy. I was going to play my new one with Todd saying our games have had a few bugs. I've read it on the internet, so it's true. But I don't have it set up for this desktop capture. Damn. Professional streamer here, guys. Alright, so yeah, so we have a broken light bulb. Let's go ahead and add another couple of these splines here. And then we'll get do some other decorating. Yeah, see, if I was playing Outer Worlds, TC, I'd have all my memes set up and ready to go. But I gotta be a lunkhead and play Hello Kitty Island Adventure and have nothing work. so there's one spline. We'll do this one first. Actually, yeah, we'll do this one first and then get it set up. So we'll get this one connected, kind of droopy, hanging down like the other one. And then this one here, I'm gonna have one, but it's just gonna hang more or less straight down, like it was connected to this one, but it's broken now. So let's connect this. Hit the P key. I wish this would remember where the hell it opened up, because it shows up in the corner here. It's right in front of my microphone. I always have to move it. Thickness. Oh, okay. So it did remember my settings from last time. That's cool. Those guys got banned for trying to get 76 bug free. It's hilarious. Well, from what I read on that, and I'm not... Oh, what am I doing here? Not agreeing with Bethesda or anything, but I think that guy said he was using Cheat Engine. I mean, if that's the case, then, yeah, I can see why they banned him. Oh, I have to select the actual spline. But the fact that wasn't it somebody that had been making, like, some sort of community resource for the game? But, yeah, I just kind of tune out most of the 76 stuff now, because it's just, I just don't care. The only thing that's really going to pique my interest is if they announce that they're just going to stop development on it and actually make a real Fallout game. Other than that, I really don't care. But yeah, it's the gift that keeps on giving for some people, though. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube channels just making all their content on Fallout 76 follies. Godosin says, precombines are always a problem. Hoping you can put your full vision into this product. Product, yeah. Yes, Bethesda, it's a product. That's why I'm taking my time with it. I'm not in any big rush to get it done. And I'm going out of my way to not... there will be no precombines harmed in the making of this mod. But some of my cells, I am going to have to generate new... obviously, I'll have to generate new ones for some of the bigger cells, but... I've gotten into the habit of, unless I absolutely have to modify existing vanilla references in the exterior cells, I don't. Everything that I'm going to change in existing cells is just additions. And if you're just adding stuff without touching anything else, then you don't have to worry about breaking precombines. Like I said, most cells are just going to have a load door added, maybe a light and a sign, and that's pretty much it. I'm not going to be changing any exterior references at all, because that's where the headaches start. And then you run into compatibility issues. So, and where my load doors do connect to the Commonwealth, I'm trying to find places that I've never seen used before. Like, there's a ton of really cool unused buildings all over the map, and those are what I'm trying to use, just little obscure, out of the way places that I kind of come across. Alright, so let's make our hanging spline here. Get this one and this one. Apparently that's not one. Or do I not have the right one selected? I think I have the wrong one here. TC says, wish me luck. I'm relaxing today. Getting a full set of teeth in the morning. Alright, fighting the VA. Well, TC, that's awesome to hear. Because if you're going to fight the VA, make sure those teeth are nice and sharp. Make sure you get them... Make sure you get, like, vampire fangs to go after them with. But good luck, man. I know you've been dealing with that a lot. Hunter Woods, yes, I do feel better. Thank you for asking. I slept a lot since Friday's stream, so... Yeah, I don't know what that was. It was like, it just came out of nowhere. But, slept quite a bit since then, and feel a hell of a lot better. Okay, so I guess... we gotta hit the, Okay, yeah, I'm going the wrong way. Did you get those meds? No, I haven't gotten to a place where I can buy them. And I was actually feeling better yesterday. So I just kind of stuck with what I have, but they're on my grocery list for when I go shopping this week. I'm going to stock up. Yeah, nothing the stim pack can't fix. Yeah, I feel better, but I'm still having trouble with the English words today for some reason. I guess I just can't talk and play CK at the same time. I kind of want this one to be a little bit shorter here. There. There we go. Now what I might do, not that it makes a big deal, I might put another one hanging down from here like it was broken. Get the water tablet. Oh, yeah, I want like that, the dehydrated water in Outer Worlds. I want some of that. The instant water, just add air. Alright, so we have light leaking in from here. I think, let's turn the light boxes on here for a second. Yep. See how this, we're still getting the light bleeding through here? We gotta fix that. We gotta move this light box back out. Okay. That fixed that. Do we have any more? No. So, that's pretty good. A native is not my English language, but I understand. Oh, you could have fooled me. Your English is excellent. It's better than mine sometimes. English is my native language, and I still struggle with getting the right words to come in the right order sometimes. Alright, so before I get too crazy with this, I want to knock these lights. Yeah, see, I just dropped these lights in here by default, and I'm going to knock these down to about half of what they are. Because that should even things out a little bit. We'll make them a little bit different here. Actually, I'm going to find, is there a flicker? Let's make one of these flicker. You guys, I kind of went fast here. If you watch, you won't be able to tell from the light here, but if you look down in where my mouse cursor is here, the lower left-hand corner of the screen, that tells you the name of the object you've got selected. So right now, it was this default light warm one. NS means no shadow or non-shadow. I'm holding down the Alt key and scrolling my mouse wheel, and you can kind of see how that changes. And you can see the lights change for some of it too. So I'm going to actually make this one flicker. It's basically the same light as I just had the warm 01 NS, but it has a flicker effect on it. That might look kind of cool for something different. And this one we'll make this one really dim. So if I turn that off, that does a little bit better job of hiding the where the light boxes are going to overlap here. That demarcation line isn't quite so... Okay, it's noticeable here. May not be noticeable in game by the time I add fog and whatnot. Let's knock this one down. Actually, let's make this one really dim. All right, TC. Yeah, we don't want you having any issues or anything. So, good to see you, man. Take care of yourself. I'll catch you next time. Yeah, we'll be playing Outer Worlds again Friday for sure, TC, if you're still here. Possibly during the week if time permits, but definitely we'll be back to it next Friday for sure, because I want to finish it. I'm really having a blast with that game. It is it's really well done. Oh. Alright, this kind of goes through the wall here. Let me turn the ceiling off here. Alright, let's narrow that up just a hair. Have a good one, TC. We'll catch you later. Good luck with everything this week, man. I guess that's probably okay to poke through. It's poking through the wall there a little bit, but I don't think that's gonna... If that becomes a problem, I can always go back and fix it later. Alright, so I'm not gonna do too much more with the lighting at this point. I really wanted to get the rooms done because that's what I want to focus on. So let's make a save here. let's switch gears here for a little bit. What time we got here? I've been going for an hour now. I think about another hour, hour and a half is about all I'm going to have time for today. So let's switch gears. Let's jump over to the New Vegas deck. Let's start doing some decorating. And my main goal today was to kind of just fill in these spaces with some furniture and some just basic item placement, and then I can come back and fine-tune it later. But like I said, I am going to replicate as best I can the layout of the NCR safe house. So let's start with this room right here. This is pretty basic stuff, so I don't think it's going to take too much work. It's one of those kitchen cabinets. Let's start with this corner here. I wish Fallout 4 had these really cool little coffee makers. We got that horrendously grotesque espresso machine. And I kind of get the joke of it. If you guys ever see that espresso machine, it's ginormous. And pull one in here. It's kind of, yeah. It's this gigantic espresso machine, and look how tiny the cups are, little demi-tasse cups. I assuming it's supposed to be something kind of humorous. I was like, it's this great big machine, the advanced technology of Fallout 4, but it needed a big machine to make coffee for this tiny little cup. I just wish we had real coffee machines. One thing, since I had this out here, this is worth mentioning. You guys that are doing pre-combined meshes for your mods, you'll kind of want to keep an eye on meshes like this that have a dirty and clean version. If you're doing pre-combines, because you want to take a look at how the dirty versions have their material swaps done. Let's bring these both in side by side. Quick little lesson here. So we have the clean one that's all nice, clean, pristine, probably for like a pre-war setting like in Sanctuary. And then we have the nasty, dirty post-apocalyptic version. And look, this does have a material swap on it here that you can turn it dirty, but you see how this says is default espresso machine. This is how you can kind of tell. This has a custom material swap applied to it, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. The material swap for this isn't applied the way I did this one here. Material swap is basically, it's another form that you get set up. It basically tells the game, substitute the default texture for this other texture. And they're pretty powerful. You can do a lot with them. I'm making a lot of my own for this mod. Normally, the way you want to do it for pre-combines is you want to apply material swaps through the reference window here on the Extras tab. The problem with the dirty variants for these static objects is if you go into the base item, go into the model window, you can see this is what I mean by custom material swap. They took they did a material swap right here on the base form, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but if you're going to do pre-combines, these will break. If you put this in your cell, generate pre-combines, the dirty ones will be gone when you go into the game. They'll look fine in the CK, but when you go load into the game, it'll be clean. So you do not want to use custom material swaps like this for your pre-combines unless you set them to initially disabled first. Like if I was going to use this one, I would put it on its own layer with all the other items I wanted disabled for the same purpose. And that's kind of what I do. I'll put anything like this with a custom material swap or something I don't want to be part of a pre-combine. I'll put it on its own layer, set everything to initially disabled, and then generate pre-combines, because anything that's set to initially disabled does not get sucked into a pre-combine. And then when you're done with that whole shebang, set them back to being enabled. It'll be fine in the game. You'll have your material swap will still be intact. Yada yada yada. But if you come in here, have a material swap set up the proper way, you won't have to do that. You just set it there, call it done. You don't have to mess around with layers or anything like that. So there's the espresso machines. There's some of the metal vault crates are set up like that. You got to be careful with those. And these round cafe tables. Where are we here? Oh, the high-tech tables. There's clean version, the dirty version. Dirty version is set up the exact same way. It has a custom material swap on it. So just something I kind of discovered by accident because I put one of the... there's actually the matching chair for this. My Subway Safehouse player home. I think it's the barber chair. I had one of the dirty high-tech round chairs like that, and when I generated the precombines for that cell, I went back in the game. Oh, it reverted to clean. So anything that has any of these static objects that have a clean version and a dirty version, you want to check what the dirty version has set up for the material swap, because you may have to jump through some hoops to get around it. And that's enough babbling about that. So let's kind of just get some static objects set up in here. If I can type... No, actually, you know what? Let's do kitchen. I'm going to filter for... What I want to do is one of those metal kitchen cabinets. I'm going to start with one of those and see how that looks. But I have to spell kitchen properly first. We're going to go with one of the player ruin. And that's a chair. Bring my preview window over here so you guys can see what I'm looking at. If I could figure out how to get OBS to handle dual monitors. Excuse me. Comes the coughing again. I may have to put something with a sink in this, now that I'm thinking about it. Let's start with one of these bare metal things here. Let's go with one of these. Which layer do I have active here? Default layer. Okay, just want to make sure I'm getting this stuff on the right layer. So let's start with this. I'm not going to worry too much about the loot and everything that's going to go on this, because this has a couple of stools, a radio, plate. I may actually just put one of those espresso machines on there, although espresso machine seems kind of luxurious for a railroad safe house. I don't know. I don't know that they would have something like that. So we'll go with the cabinet. And then we've got these shelving units. Let's drop some of those in. Now, I might be able to find... Let's check our pack-ins here. I am becoming a firm believer in using pack-ins. If you don't know what a pack-in is, they're in the miscellaneous section under pack-ins. And what they're basically a collection of objects. So you've got all these different things here. Let's just take a look at this one. They're basically a collection of objects. They're not it's not like a static collection. This is the pack-in for this ceiling hanging light. And if I were to drag this into the cell, it would come... Everything's exactly like how you see it here. You've got the light, you've got a spotlight, another light source, and you've got the beam effect for the light that's hanging down. And they're just a real time saver. You've got this one here, which has a vault crate with a cart. You've got things for debris. There's just a whole selection of here. They're almost... There's also something called object palettes, which are a little bit different, but the short thing is that they really allow you to add a lot of clutter and objects to a cell really quickly. Like, where is it? Like this scene here. These are all individual objects. There's a desk, there's a chair, there's filing cabinets, a wastebasket, and even the clutter and the debris. I could just drag that into a cell and call it done if I wanted to. And I thought there was... Maybe it's this one. Nope. Maybe it's under clutter. I think it's under clutter. Junk. See, they're basically like, almost think of them as like little mini scenes. You can just drag into your cell, and once they're in the cell, they're all individual objects. You can move them around. You can delete things that you don't want to use, but they're a hell of a time saver. Radioactive barrels. They're just together in a pile, and it even has the hazard marker. You don't have to do anything with it. You might want to change the radius that it affects, but it just works. So what I'm looking for, there was one that had a table with some clutter on it. Clutter shelves. Yeah, see all this stuff here? You can just drag this into a cell and call it done if you want. And you can go and add other things, substitute stuff, but pack-ins are pretty damn cool. And they're for more than just static objects, too. There's actually useful things, like for elevators. If you want to do an elevator, there's elevator pack-ins. And that's how I've been doing all the elevators in this mod. When I first started learning how to do this stuff, I was doing everything individually, wiring everything up, and then somebody mentioned that there's pack-ins for elevators, and because I actually did a video on how to wire all this stuff up manually. But that video is really obsolete because it's all here. It's all put together. You basically just drop it in. You move things to where you want them. Everything is linked. You don't have to do anything. And yeah, I did a video on how to do moving walls and floors, actually in this cell that we're working in. And I started out with something like this. You basically just have a pack-in. This is a simple elevator. Everything you need to just do this stuff is just already there. You just drag it into your cell, and it's all in one piece. But we don't have the shelves that I'm looking for, which are, let's see, they are under statics. Nope. I really wish I could type. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Metal shelf 01. Yep, this is the one. Put this back over here. So I'm just going to drop these in as kind of as placeholders. Generally when I'm doing some cell design like this, I'll just kind of start playing around with stuff, dropping things in, see how they interact and play and fit. And I'm hoping that I can replicate the NCR safe house. Hey, Hunter. No worries, man. Appreciate you stopping in. It was good to see you. Catch you next time. Yeah, so we got 2 more over there. I am going to put clutter on these shelves, but we're not going to do that today because I want to... There is something else I want to show you guys, too, that might be kind of cool regarding clutter. Something I've been, again, using for the first time in this mod. And that would be the use of dummies. Hey, Adama. How the hell are you, man? Good to see ya. What's shaking? The new phrase that all the kids are saying is, what's chafing? Did I just duplicate this twice? Nope. So, I have a dilemma. I can either... So the NCR one has... just in time, Adama, we're replicating the NCR safe house from New Vegas. Well, semi-replicating. I think these shelves are actually smaller. Let's try this. Let's move these over a little bit. I may end up having to use a smaller cabinet for this, but like I said, this is just temporary. We'll figure this out later. This has a reloading bench. And I'm going to put some workbenches in some of my cells. Like the ones I already have. I have one has a chem station, the other one has an armor workbench. I think I may put a cooking station in this one. I think I may be putting a stove in here. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Good to see ya. Well, the reason the CK streams are chill is because I'm usually too brain dead when I'm doing them. Yeah, there's not too much to get worked up in the CK unless it crashes on you, so. But, yeah, I'm just going to work on this anyway today, so I figured why not have a stream. Complete with the generator room? Well, the generator room that is here... Well, let me zoom out here. The little generator room here in the New Vegas skek, that's going to be our bathroom. We just put some lighting in there. This little room here is going to be the bathroom. And the generator room is actually going to be in the basement. I added a basement to this. This wall pieces, these wall pieces here are going to go away. I'm going to push that back out, and I'm thinking I'm going to use some of the security gate with some machinery behind it to kind of simulate a generator, maybe some spark effects or something. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, going to have a little generator section there. You guys that just joined in, Paul and Adama, I mentioned earlier, obviously we've talked about this before, this is replicating the NCR safehouse. It's going to be a railroad safehouse for the purposes of this mod. Railroad safehouse that's been compromised by the Institute, so... But it's going to be a railroad outfit, a railroad base outfit type thing. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. I think I'm just going to put one there for now. Have to figure out what to put in here. I want to put a cooking station and a workbench, but I might have to rearrange this a little bit. I was thinking of putting a stove over there. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I wanted to put a stove in here. I have an idea. Hold the bus 1 second. Hey, DJX, how you doing? Okay. Yep. We're not going to use this one, guys. This one's too big. I am going to use one that I... let me... Well, we're going to use this one. This is not a vanilla asset. This is... I basically took one of these and brought it into 3ds Max and chopped it down. So we're going to use this. The back isn't exactly perfect, but yeah, like there's no back to that there, so it's going to go up against the wall. Let me make that bare metal. Hey, Sawyer, how you doing? DJ's just posting an update. Oh, one of your mods? Cool. I was itching to work on this today, so I figured why not stream it for a couple hours, and here we are. Yeah, see, that'll fit a lot better there. That'll fit a lot better there. Let's make a save. Says everything needs a bathroom. Yeah, tell me about it. Well, not all my... you know, it's funny you were saying that because I was working on a cell. Adama says about... Community now says everything needs a bathroom. I don't know what it is with people in toilets in Fallout games. I don't know how many people say, oh, you got to make your mod compatible with the shower mod and the mod where I can poop. And no, I don't. I don't get it. But I was actually working on another cell for this morning, and it's like, oh, I don't have a bathroom. Somebody's probably going to say something, and you know what? I don't care. I can count on probably both hands the number of cells that I can think of the top of my head in New Vegas that had bathrooms, and most of them didn't. So, and this was one of them. Yeah, Sawyer, I remember you. It's good to see you again. Thanks for stopping in. So yeah, that makes a little bit more room there. So let's drop I actually have a cooking station set up as a stove already. That I have in one of my other cells here. Where is... Yep, there we go. Let's drop this. So, yep. So this was a static stove. I actually turned it into a cooking station. Yeah, people don't realize we post stuff we like to create and make it available for them. Yeah, I always tell people, I make this stuff for myself before anybody else. I make it for me, because I'm a selfish bastard like that. What can I say? Hey, Grumps, how you doing? None of the NPCs or companions have been unable to fight, complain because they needed to... Exactly. You know, Lydia never said, I'm sworn to carry your burdens, but not until after I find a bathroom. It's like, I just don't get taking immersion to that level. I just don't. So, when you're doing the workbenches, something you have to keep in mind is a stupid camera. This indicates when you're in the workbench, which angle the camera, the animation's going to play from. You've got to be really careful about putting these too close to walls, because a lot of times they won't just work. There's a couple mods by mod authors I like that obviously don't test their workstations because they don't work, because they're too close to the walls, or the camera's outside in the void. So I initially had this out here. To me, it's going to either be wonky or not work at all, so because it's got the doorway there. Bring it in, just swap them around a little bit, and that should be happy. And I did want to put a see, I'm already kind of getting more off the path from the New Vegas one that I wanted, because I wanted to put a stool there, and it's going to be right in the way, so we may have to forgo that. Grum says, I do appreciate little immersion touches that were done in Outer Worlds, but folks can take it too far. Oh, I'm all for immersion, exactly, but there's a point where, it's still a video game. Adama says, I like decorating them. It's a challenge to make different from one to the next. My Grey Garden didn't have a bathroom, if you caught that. I didn't catch it until you mentioned it. Because I'm kind of like, okay, it doesn't have a bathroom. La-di-da. It's... I don't really care if somebody says, oh, it doesn't have a bathroom. Oh, well. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Should you go do your homework? Absolutely. You should absolutely do your homework. Don't procrastinate. Get it done, get it out of the way, and then you can enjoy the rest of your day. And I say that as probably the largest procrastinator ever when it came to homework. Even when I was in college. Should I do this other thing or should I do the homework? And I end up always doing the other thing. So yeah, I'm going to have to make a little bit of a compromise here because this thing... I see what's going on. This doorway is much wider than what we have here. So if I put a stool there, that's going to get in the way of the NPC pathing. That might be a problem. All right, Sawyer. Hey, well, appreciate you stopping in, Sawyer, but come back. If you get your homework done, come on back. We'll be here I'll be here for a little while. Mr. Wisp in a Bottle, you're releasing this as a player home. This is going to be more or less a dungeon mod. It won't, not really player home stuff. These are a bunch of different dungeons you can go and explore and loot and kill things in. Connected network of roughly 38 cells, I think there are right now. New Vegas assets. These are the New Vegas assets here. This is the New Vegas GEC. This is the NCR safehouse. And DJX, when you actually asked me yesterday about the Megaton home for the buying different themes, I actually opened up the Fallout 3 GEC to see how they did it, and that's how I realized that, yep, they just did exactly like I told you how to do it by setting things to an enable marker, except they didn't have layers. And there's an actual quest if you have the Fallout 3, if you have Fallout 3 in the GEC, if you open it up, there's an actual quest for buying the Megaton house that has the script that they used, which is way different than Fallout 4. But if you look through it, it's essentially, you can tell that's exactly what they did, because there's all the enable markers. It runs the check to see if this theme is as active, disable it and enable this theme. So if you have that, definitely worth checking out some of the older games to see how they did things. And just for shit like this where you want to see how a cell's laid out. But yeah, this is gonna change my plans a little bit. This wall section is far wider than what we have to work with here, and I'm not going to redo the cell at this point just because of the way I have everything set up. So we're gonna have to make a little bit of a change here. I remember Fallout New Vegas and me always trying to unlock the Ranger safe house, and I did it with console commands and it crashed every time. I guess the game developers were spying on me. Yeah, hey, you never know. But this was always my... actually, now I'm thinking about it, I don't think I ever got the Follower Safehouse or the Legion Safehouse. But I always loved the NCR Safehouse. I just loved how it was in a cave. I could never wrap my head around how they would build a place like this in a cave, but that's what I miss about the older games, is just the mixing of different architecture styles. Like, a building inside a cave is just not something you see all the time. Yes, this is going to be for Fallout 4, Mr. Wisp. It's mod I'm doing called Commonwealth Underworld. It's going to be, if you're familiar with the World of Pain from Fallout 3 New Vegas, it's along the lines of that. That's basically my main inspiration for doing this. That is one of my all-time favorite mods for any game. And so that's where I'm taking a lot of my inspiration from. So rather than dwell on what I'm going to do for the Kitcheneer, let's drop a few of these things in here too. Yeah, toilets are pretty magic. Toilet. No plumbing, no sewer, no sewage treatment, so it's a porcelain bucket. Exactly. So got... These are not vault tables. They look like it, but they're not. They're called military table in the GEC. See, this is why I love the older games so much. The assets, to me, are just better. They have such a much more variety, and the assets are just way cooler. So I'm going to use vault tables for this, because we don't have tables that look like that. I'm going to use a couple of these vault tables for this. And I have a material swap for these to make them look a little more rusty. Hey, Woodchopper, how you doing? Good to see you. Modding question. What do you think this is? Modding? We're not doing modding. Can't you see we're in the midst of a very intense RPG? Start or play Skyrim, but want to modify a player home for personal use, but the render window keeps giving me warning symbols. How do I remove them? I can't answer that. I've launched the Skyrim CK once, and that was just to check to see if the storage in the Companions headquarters was safe. If you mean the exclamation point, the diamond with the exclamation point, that means the CK can't find the meshes or the reference, the assets. So either you don't have the assets installed, or could be that they're packed into an archive and it can't read them. Because I've had that problem with the Fallout 4 CK. If I open someone else's mod to see how they did something, and if they have a lot of custom assets, if they're packed in the archives, CK doesn't read them. At least this install of it, I have another install that I launched through Mod Organizer, and it works perfectly fine in that. So all I can say is I've run into that problem in the Fallout 4 CK, and I don't have a fix for it. The only thing I can suggest is to unpack the if they are packed into an archive, unpack the BSA and load it up using loose archives. That should probably fix it. But that seems to be a common thing. I think there was a CK update that broke its ability to read assets packed into archives, because I never used to have that problem. I never had that problem. All right. I tell you, I'm going to take a quick break here, guys. We are in the hour and a half mark. I'm probably going to go for about another hour or so. And I need to take a quick break, get a fresh coffee or something here. And I just want to read, catch up on chat here. I just want to say, really enjoy your mods. Oh, thanks. A1 Ferrex, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in, saying hello. And Grumps is going to mod Outer Worlds if full availability happens. I'm holding my breath to see how moddable that game's actually going to be. I know nothing about moddability of Unreal Engine, so it'd be cool if we could. I just don't expect the same level of openness that you have with a Bethesda game. Like, I don't see new world spaces or new cells or anything like that. I see mostly quality of life mods coming from that, which is perfectly fine with me. There's not a lot that I would want to add to that game other than a few quality of life improvements. So, Adama says, like me, Pokemon, I did get them all. I've had all the safe houses. I was going to release my unfinished Novak vid, but lost interest. Oh, I should still release it, man. Don't delete it. Hang on to it. You might feel better. Might feel differently in a few months. Yeah, I'm going to take a quick break, guys. And I just need to get a quick... I have to upgrade my coffee a little bit. So, hang on. Stand by. We'll cause some more trouble here in just a few. Okay, I think we're back. I have so many windows open on this computer now between the CK, Photoshop, Illustrator, OBS, and the chat. I keep getting things covered up here. Can't see what I'm working on. I actually have OBS covered up so I couldn't tell we were actually back or not, but I guess we are. So I hope everyone that took a bathroom break, I hope that it was very immersive for you. And remember that, as TC Games once said, this is Fallout, not Fall In. And so I'm going to get rid of one of these. That's just too many tables here. The Safe House has two, but the dimensions are a little off on this. So I didn't want this to be any bigger than it is. So I'm just going to kind of make do with what we got here. So yeah, this is just one of the vault tables, but I have a retexture for it. That makes it nice and rusty. I hate the vault furniture in this game because it's so pristine. And that's it just annoys me to no end that everything else in the game is rusty, decrepit, but yet the vault furniture, even in old abandoned vaults, is still like it was off the showroom floor. So we're going to fix that. I have a material swap set up. Bam. We now have a rusty vault table. Before, after. So there we go. Hey, Voltros. Wish was granted. Someone made an OK Boomer dialogue option for New Vegas. Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to have to go check that out. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I got a big kick out of that when you said that. That would be... I haven't checked the New Vegas mods in a while. I guess I need to get back over there. I used to check it like every week, but I just haven't... I haven't as of yet. Good to see you, man. Thanks for letting me know about that. I'm going to go check it out. Alright, so let's add a couple... I did want to add a water cooler. I don't know if I'm going to put a sink in here. I'll put the cooking station, but I'm not sure about a sink yet. What I'm going to try... Let's try this here. Let's make a working water cooler. So if I don't put a sink in here, I would at least like to have a functioning water cooler. What happens if you take something like an asset from New Vegas and put it into Fallout 4? Perhaps that would happen in a different game like Skyrim. Well, there's two aspects of that, Mr. Wisp. Can you? Technically, from a technical standpoint, you can. Although you have to do some surgery to the meshes to make them compatible. The other question is, legally, can you? And the answer to that is no, you can't. At least not if you're going to do it something to release. You can't take a New Vegas mesh, put it in a Fallout 4 mod, and post it to the Nexus. That is against Bethesda's copyright... ownership of copyright. They do not allow... Bethesda does not allow you to take assets from one of their games and put it into any other game, including their own. So you can't take assets from 3 in New Vegas and put them into 4. You can't take them from 4 and put them in New Vegas. Not legally. People do it. Plenty of people do it, but you can't post it to the Nexus. If you want to do it for yourself, that's one thing. But from a technical standpoint, there's a ton of work you have to do to the meshes. You can't just import them. They just don't work. I don't know if the game crashes. They just don't work that way. So, will you be going back to Fallout 3 and 4 on Thursday? Oh, yeah. Are you talking about that goofy Creation Club thing? No. No, if I'm going to go back to Fallout 3, I'm going back to Fallout 3. And not Bethesda's lame Creation Club attempt at fixing the nostalgia bug that people have been craving. The Capital Wasteland team does all that stuff better anyway, as far as I'm concerned. And it's free. Alright, so... what I want to try... Oh, I just kind of screwed up here. I want to make... We have this happy little water cooler here. The closest we have in Fallout 4 are the static... Well, we have the water fountains in the vaults, but I don't like those. I'm not going to use those. So what I want to do is close this window. The closest we have... Find them here. Are these static water coolers? If the damn render window, object window doesn't... There we go. Yeah, this water cooler. This is the closest we have. And they're static objects. They don't actually work. So what I want to do is I basically take one of the fountain activators, the vault fountain activators, swap the mesh on it, and turn that into a working water cooler. Which I've done before. I think I generally use the sink for that, but we're going to try it with the water fountain, because I think the script is a little different. I think when you drink, your character has a slightly different sound when they drink from the water cooler. That might be cool to try out. So, yep, water fountain. Now, we're not going to use one with the rads. So, I think this is it. Yeah. Yep. All right, so what I want to do first, I should have done this before. I need to get the file path. I'll show you guys how to do this. We're going to basically take that water... Oh. Hey, look at this. Maybe we don't have to do that. We may not have to go and do that, kids. One of the DLC dependencies of this mod is going to be the Vault Tech Workshop, because I'm using some of the Vault assets in the railroad cars. Apparently, the Vault Tech DLC has exactly what I wanted to do. I was going to take the water fountain, change the mesh on it into the water cooler. We don't have to do that. Well, never mind. I am going to do a material swap on it, though, if we can. All right, well, let's forget that idea, then. I'm just going to use this bad boy. That'll save some trouble. So I don't normally use the Vault Tech DLC for anything because, honestly, there's not a hell of a lot that's worthwhile in it. But some of the Vault assets are pretty useful, and I'm going to be using them for this mod. So let's see. And it's got the dirty material swap. Beautiful. All right, well, that shaved about 10 minutes off the stream. Yep, there we go. That's exactly what I was going to change the mesh on the cooler, but I didn't have to. Hey Tony, how you doing? Is Friday next stream Outer Worlds? Yes, we will still be playing the Outer Worlds on the Friday streams until we complete the playthrough. I want to finish the playthrough because it's not a long game. I think we're probably, I'm going to guess, take a stab that we're halfway through it. I'm not sure on that, but my gut tells me we're probably halfway through it. I'm going to keep playing that until it's done. And then I want to start a fresh New California playthrough. Because the one I had, we kind of abandoned. And I want to play that again. So after Outer Worlds, we'll be back to doing Fallout for live streams for a while. And then I want to go back and play Outer Worlds again, but we'll do a female character. Not that makes any difference, because you never see your character anyway. Female character who's going to be a dumb corporate thug. We're going to go low intelligence, so we get all the dumb dialogue, and we're going to do everything for the corporations. So, kind of the exact opposite of what we're doing now. Alright, so let's add a few chairs to this. Two-thirds already. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I do know we're over halfway through leveling up because the level cap's 30. I think I'm on level 18 now. I've got all the companions, so I would say we're probably pretty far along. But I do have all the companion quests to do still. I haven't even gotten. I'm assuming Felix has a companion quest, but we haven't gotten that activated yet. We still have Max's to finish. We just got Nyoka's. We are in the midst of Parvati's. We have to get some more. I think we have to get another food item for her somewhere. All right, this is the chair I'm looking for. Nope, that's not the chair I'm looking for. Oh, this is the other chair. And we were talking about the material swaps earlier, guys. This is the high-tech dirty round chair. You got to be careful of this one if you're doing pre-combines, because this has a custom material swap on the base item. So if you're going to use that and generate pre-combines, you got to be careful about that. Okay, this is the chair I'm looking for. I have my own material swap for this that I want to use. Make it a grungy gray-green. Like a chair from one of the old games. Grump says, on my 4th playthrough of Outer Worlds, dumb characters are fun, can complete all in about 25 hours, about 35 to 40 would be expected for a first relaxed game. I think that's probably what we're going to end up with, Grumps. I think I'm at like 20, I'm going to say we're probably about 28 hours-ish right now on that playthrough, and I'm doing all the side quests I can. Yeah, my first time through, I want to do everything that the game has to offer, that I can discover anyway. So, yeah, I'm really enjoying that game. It's so much fun. I do miss the mini games. I kind of do miss the hacking and whatnot. So let's add another chair here. Let's swap out the chairs a little bit. Let's put one of these kitchen chairs. Is this the one? And let's go with a grungy one. I kind of like adding different chairs. Mix things up a little bit. I think this has to come out from the wall a little bit, though. Just going to do some rough item placement here. I'm not going to get this as far as I want to. I got to decide if I want to put a workbench over here or another table or what I'm going to do. But we'll kind of just do a little bit here. And I think this has a chessboard, checkerboard on it. Yeah. If we're going to do it right, I'm going to add a chessboard to that. Go up into the miscellaneous items. Let's pack in this chessboard. Bam. Just like in the old NCR. Alright, so there's that. I'm really happy to know that the Vault-Tec DLC, that's another useful item. But if you're not going to make that a dependency of your mod, you can just use the fountain and do the mesh swap. Now, another thing I wanted to show you guys that I've really become a huge fan of in this mod, and that's using something called dummies, dummy objects. A dummy object is essentially something that helps when you're placing your loot. So I could go through this, like let's say I want to put a bunch of food on this shelf here. I could go through the potion objects. I could drag out some cram, some whatever, some dandy apples, Instamash, and just put that stuff there. But it would be the same things every time somebody, every time the cell regenerated, every time somebody played the game for the, again, came through the first time, same loot would always be there. Dummies kind of randomize what loot shows up. And I've recently discovered that they're freaking awesome. They're just a lot of fun to use because it randomizes what shows up. And essentially all it is, I gotta make sure the markers are turned on here. If you come up under the pack-in section, there's all these dummy objects here. You don't want to use the dummies that are listed in the miscellaneous objects. Because if you do, well, I'll show you here in a minute. You don't want to use these here. These are part of the ones that are in the pack-ins. You want to come into the pack-ins, filter for dummies, and use these. So I'm just going to do a few things here and show you what they are. And then when we go check this cell out, we'll see what shows up. Essentially, they're placeholders. And they randomize what loot you put you put onto the shelf. So let's say I want to put some packaged food on here. You just drag that in there. You see how it's got this little icon here? It's basically just a marker. Like if I turn markers off, it disappears. You can't see that it's there. So it's basically just a placeholder, and it looks like it's kind of a mishmash of a Sugar Bombs box, a bowl, and maybe a can of cram, maybe a box of Instamash. This is basically where the item's going to spawn, but we have no idea what's going to show up there, because what these dummies do is if you pop open the reference window, go to Level Item tab, it pulls the object from the leveled lists. So this particular one is set to go to food packaged. So it'll pull something randomly from that leveled list. So the first time you go into the cell, it could be cram. Cell resets, it could be Instamash. It could be something completely different. It randomly draws from that leveled list. And there's for weapons and ammo and all kinds of stuff. And you don't have to use just the level lists that are here. I've been using them for junk to randomize the junk that spawns. Any of these level lists you can go and pull them down from. Now the downside of doing that is you may get something that's too large to fit on the shelf where you're putting it. So you got to be careful of that. Why did you show me that, Red? Because it's a freaking time saver. Well, not so much a time saver, but it's a nice way to randomize the loot in a cell. And I've been using these for food and drinks, and I've been going and filtering, because you can filter, like if I want to make this junk, you just come in, filter through for the junk lists, and all the junk level lists show up. So, but like I said, you kind of got to be careful which ones you're using for and where you put these, because like if I were to put something here that was like, say, if I were to put this in a cabinet or something, or a shelf, the object that spawns may be too big to fit on the shelf. It'll either be clipped through it, or it may just fall through the world, because it's a Bethesda game. So So we're going to put that one there. This is just temporary. This is probably isn't going to change or to be permanent. I just wanted to show these to you guys because they're pretty damn cool. And I actually made a custom one. Let's trim one here that says... Actually, let's do a chems one. There's one for chems here, too. The chems one... Now, see, this is something I found interesting. The markers for the dummies for drinks use the old Nuka-Cola bottles. They don't use the new rocket ones. That marker, that's the old bottle. The old Nuka bottle, or Nuka-Cola bottle mesh. Why the hell couldn't they just use these? Need to attach ref? Nope. Nope, DJ, you just come into the pack-ins, you just drag it into the cell, and that's it. You don't have to do anything with them. Only if you want to change, the default. Like, see this one here. Hang on a second. Let me redo this one here. The alcohol. If you want to change what spawns, then you can come in and change the level list. But other than that, you just drag them in. And you just got to remember that they're markers, so your markers have to be on. So if you're putting anything else on that shelf, you want to make sure you turn your markers on. And because otherwise you may have things spawn inside, what you place there. I had one of those movable statics of the wooden crates, and I had a bunch of bottles in it. But then I realized that if somebody comes through the first time and loots that and pulls the box off the shelf to get to the bottles, next time they come in that cell after the cell resets, the box is going to be on the floor where they left it, but the bottles are going to respawn where the marker is, which is kind of partially in the air off the shelf. Because we know that kind of thing never happens in the Bethesda game, so I opted to not do that and just put them on the shelf, but completely up to you what you want to do. We're dragging Nuka-Cola one in here. Now, I actually did have my own... I made... And they're basically just draws from a level item list, so you can actually make your own level item list and have it draw from that. And I did that with this one here. I have... Since I'm using the Nuka World DLC, I put all the Nuka World flavors into it. And as well as Vim from Far Harbor, because I have all the pretty much all the DLC dependencies are going to be part of this mod. I'm not going to, obviously the workshop ones aren't going to be required. Wasteland Workshop, and what the hell's the other one? Contraptions. I'm not using anything from those. But, so essentially what this will do, is my own level list has all the Nuka-Colas from Nuka World, but I put them at a higher percentage to not spawn. So they're going to be more rare. The vanilla one, the base game ones, the Nuka-Cola, Quantums. Actually, Quantums by default are pretty rare. There's only a 20% chance those will spawn. But all the Nuka-Cola flavors, I put between 50 and 80% chance that they will not spawn. So we'll try those. And wish... A1 Ferrex, man, I wish I got that Nuka-Cola vending machine that Deadpool 2090. Oh, my, those look so awesome. Yeah, they did look good. I absolutely hate the vending machines in Fallout 4. I hate a lot of the meshes, the design for things in Fallout 4, but some things I really like, but the vending machines and the vaults are two of the things I hate the most. I hate the vault pieces. Alright, so we're just going to drop... This is one for chems. And you can see it's got, looks like Rad-X, maybe a Stim Pack, Radaway. This is kind of give you an idea of a placement as well. So if you're going to put a lot of other stuff on the shelf, this will kind of give you an idea of any of these things can spawn here. This is kind of the size that they're going to take. So that's just temporary. And I'm going to come through and add some more clutter to this. But once we go in-game and test this stuff out, I'll show you guys what that... how those all work, because it's completely random, and that's why I love it. I'm starting to use those. Alright, that's just kind of a rough layout of that room there. What else we got in here? Yeah, see, this is actually a bit bigger. Whoops, let's pop down here. So I'm probably going to put a workbench in here and some other stuff on the shelf. I don't want... That's one thing I'm trying to avoid, is having too much loot in this mod. There's quest mods and other dungeon type mods I've seen, and is there dummy NPCs? Yes, they're called companions. But Things like that, no, not as far as I know. The closest you're going to get to that DGX is a leveled NPC that draws from a pool of. It's kind of hard for me to explain. The leveled NPCs will draw from a form list, and it's all determined on the player level. So that's probably the closest you're going to find. Oh yeah, Ferox. That's it's kind of what I was exactly. I wasn't gonna name a specific mod or author, but that's specifically what I was gonna say. Is this mod will not have a complete set of bobbleheads in it. It won't be loaded with magazines. It won't be loaded. It won't have a room full of ammo and weapons. Yeah, there's certain mods out there that put way too much loot in, and I'm going out of my way to not do that. There will not be any custom sets of power armor. There will be no complete sets of bobbleheads. I might come up with some new magazines because we don't have skill books or anything like that in this game, which is nothing that irks me. So I may come up with some unique little custom magazines or something to add perks. Something more to collect. I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out. But yeah, I generally don't name people or specific mods if I'm going to critique things. But everybody does things their own way. You know, I'm not saying that's good or bad. It's just not it's not the way I would make a mod or the way I play my games. So, but everybody plays differently. Some people are probably going to complain that I don't put enough stuff in this. I don't put enough loot. But the loot getting is not. It's just more the exploration, and that's basically what my goal for this is: the new places to explore. Try and come up with some new bits of lore. I don't know yet, but yeah. So let's move on. That's enough of that. But yeah, there won't be gobs and gobs of loot in this. At least that's my intent anyway. We'll see how well that fares out. See, I just did it. I combined two sayings. I meant to say we'll see how that fares, and how it fares and bears out, and it came out fares out, which it's not really a thing. For you non-English speakers, that's not a thing. All right, let's stop babbling and move on to the next room. We're just going to throw some beds down in here. What do we got for some cool little beds? Now, how many beds do we have in here? I'll probably put some of the robot model kits. I might come up with something, but it's not going to be a quest mod in the traditional sense. You go here and get things. I want there to be a flow, because the way that the cells are designed, you really should go from one to the next and kind of sequential. But I'm not going to really stick to that, because obviously the part of an open world RPG-ish that Fallout 4 is, an open world game, is the exploration. And if you want to start in the middle of the map, middle of the mod, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I haven't worked out how that's all going to work yet, though. I want to get the actual cells done first. Alright, which I'm never going to do if I keep looking at the same thing and blabbering here. So, let's drop a couple lockers in here. I'm going to use the vault lockers for this. Let's see. Little red rocket figures instead of bobbleheads. Deckard says, now I might just add some more of the robot kits. I do put some custom magazines that give special perks in my mods. I'm probably going to do something more along those lines. I really wish we had skill books. I really wish skills were still a thing in this game, because they're, like New Vegas and 3, the skill books and the magazines are part of the vanilla game because they enhanced your skills. And every mod author could just use more skill books. They don't have to come up with anything extra. It's not too much loot. It's just a cool thing, and I wish we had that. Hey, JD Curse, how the hell are you? Good to see you. Voltros is asking, I bought New Vegas on GOG. Would I also have to buy FO3 GOG to get TOT running? You might. I can't honestly answer that, Voltros. I would still get if If you already have the Steam version, you can probably try it. The problem is, I think the TTW installer is going to look for them to be within the same game folder. So you may run into problems with that. I'm just speculating. I honestly don't know. I have not installed the new TTW. I want to play both New Vegas and Fallout 3 Vanilla, original before I get there. So short answer is I can't honestly answer that. You may run into problems that they're installed in different folders. In fact, you probably will if they're installed in different folders. I would check on the TTW website. They may have some more info on that. But if you, in all honesty though, it's probably worth your while to buy Fallout 3 on GOG. Just, it works better. You don't have to jump through so many hoops to get it working, and it comes with the GEC. So, alright. JD Kerr says, just ate raw jalapeno, got head sweat going. That's awesome. Do you really, is that what you're doing today? Eating raw jalapeno? Alright, so I'm going to drop a couple of these vault lockers. Actually, I'm going to do different ones here. I actually have my own. I made my own copies of the vault lockers and put different leveled lists in them because the vault lockers just basically spawn vault stuff, and I don't want that. So I copied the vault lockers. I have 6 variations, each use different leveled lists, so we're going to drop a couple of these in here. And we'll go with number 4. And I have a material swap for both of these that we're going to use, a rusty vault locker material swap. So rather than just come in here twice and do the material swap this way, I'll show you guys another handy dandy little function of the wonderful godsend that is the reference back to action window. So I've got both those. Like I mentioned before, you can select all your light sources to make light boxes with. If you're saying that you're doing a room, let's say you have all the sides of your room and everything all set, and let's say it's the high-tech kit, which has about a dozen or so, half a dozen at least, different material swaps you can use, and you want to change what material swap you're using, but you don't want to have to go to each one individually. Select all your references. Just go select them all, open the Veg Action window, they'll all be listed here, and then you come on down to next to last one here, Set Material Swap. Pull down your tab. There's all your material swaps that are available for those references. Select it, hit do, and bam. I just put the swaps on both of those at the same time. It's a thing of beauty. I love the Batch Action window. But I don't love how these lockers have such a large hitbox on them. They have to hit anything around them. Alright, so what else we got here? We need some beds. I think, what time we got here? 4 o'clock? I think we're going to just drop some beds in here. Because it is getting kind of late for me now. Drop some beds in here. Throw some of these foot lockers down. Then we'll go check things out. This is just rough, guys. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be tweaking the hell out of this as we go along. But we'll go check this out. And then I want to show you guys the one other cell that I've been working on the past couple days. The subway cell. Show you where that's at. So these are kind of, I think we have beds like this in 4. We definitely have the foot lockers. And when we go look at those in game, I am using my my classic Fallout texture replacer for the foot locker because I hate the wooden foot lockers. Hate them, hate them, hate them. I'm looking for furniture. Furniture would be under the furniture section. I'm pretty sure that we had... Is it this one? Yeah, we're going to use a few of these. That's the closest thing we have. How many of these can we fit in here? Probably not as many. Oh, that's a cool one. I think I want to use this one. This is set up as a swap here at all. Okay, nope, not a custom swap. That uses the barge? Ooh, I'm gonna have to remember that. I thought most of these beds use like a vault kit. This is using the vault material, or the barge material. Ah, I'm going to have to look at that for other things. That is pretty cool. Learn something every time I play this game. I just want to make sure where the sleep marker is. So how many beds do we actually have in the NCR safe house? It's like 6. I don't think we're going to get 6 in there. 7. I might be able to get another one over here. Because one of the things I want to experiment with this mod too is doing like the NPC patrol markers, and there's this, I can't remember what the hell it's called, but there's a combat hold system. So like when you go into a cell, let's say you go into a cell and say there's an upstairs and a downstairs, and all the enemies on the downstairs floor would fight you, but the ones upstairs don't even react to you. There's a trigger and a set of patrol markers that you can do that with, and that's something I want to do because I don't want every enemy in the cell to come out and rushing you. I want you to have some surprises. So, NCR safe house for the Commonwealth, you betcha. Yep, this is actually going to be called the Lost Safe House. It's going to be a compromised railroad safe house, but it is based on the NCR safe house from New Vegas. Abso-friggin-lutely. Or at least as close as I can get to it. I've already run into a couple of spacing issues that it's gonna change some things. So we're only gonna get 5 beds in here, but that's fine. I'm gonna actually push this one down a little bit further. Okay, that's probably good for now. I can always add more if I need to. What else is there? Is it just the beds, the lockers, and rugs? Fallout 4 has crappy rugs. I was having issues with shopkeepers. Are you talking settlement shopkeepers, DJX? Because I know nothing about how to work with those. I've set up several vendors, you know, just regular NPCs, but I have no idea how you would do anything with the settlement vendors. Let's see. What? Oh, footlockers. Let's go back to containers. And I'm probably going to want to come up with some other footlockers too, with some different leveled lists on them. But for now, we'll just go and add these. And I'm actually going to... One thing I like to do... If I'm putting a lot of... Let's say I'm going to put a lot of these footlockers down. I don't want to just have them all be universal, perfectly lined up. Like Flak and Shrapnel running around. Oh, that would be awesome. Flak and Shrapnel as companions. Yeah, I want to come up with some cool names for the stores. That I'm because there's there's going to be like the one I mentioned before. The one place is going to be called the Hub, kind of a reference to Fallout 1. It's going to have several stores in it, but I want to come up with some cool names for the vendors and for the stores. But yeah, I don't want all these. I don't want to just drag these in here and have them be all perfectly lined up with the beds and everything. I want them to look a little bit. I think they are. Yeah, see how these are all a little bit mismatched, and they're all, and even the beds. The beds I need to go back and let's actually do that right now. Let's make the beds not quite so perfect. Hey Jade, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you as always. Probably you probably haven't seen this game in a while. But yeah, going back to what we were doing with the dummy markers over here, even if you're going to put objects, even if it's static, if it's lootable, if you're putting multiples of things there, like let's say you're putting 5 Nuka-Colas on there, don't just drag on there and make them all face the same way. Shift them around, turn them, make them each, if you have 5 of them, make them face 5 different directions. It's the little things like that that drive me nuts, that people I don't know. I'm just, maybe because I just do things the way I do them. But, and it kind of goes back to when I used to do models and dioramas back in the day. Little bits of imperfection go a long way to make things look lived in and used. And we can actually probably pull some of these beds a little bit further away from the wall too, just to make them all little. Don't make everything on the same axis and the same. Yeah, it's definitely not immersive. Exactly. In fact, we can probably just... Oh, hey, Jade. Oh, no problem. I'm glad you could make it. We're not going to be here too much longer anyway. I don't think so. But always good to see you, Jade. Always appreciate you stopping in and saying hi. We will see you. Hopefully, we'll see you Friday. I do want to pull these out a little bit, too. I don't want to get them all the way under the bed, because sometimes it's hard to interact with that stuff when it's there, so... let's drop another one of these here. I'll probably lock some of these at some point. Okay, that's probably good for now. I have a feeling it's going to be a little dark in here. Oh, did I make these lights? Oh yeah, 1.5, that's too dark. Let's knock those up to 2.5. Hey, Energizer, how you doing? Good to see ya. Welcome to Hello Kitty Island Adventure. Yeah, I just think that these lights are just... The 1.5, that's barely any light at all. I want it to be dim in here, but I don't want it to be as dark as the other cells that I got going. I may actually come in here and put another one of my little... We'll see how this looks in game. That's a little dark to me, actually. Let's make these 30. We can always come back and tweak this later. I'm going to do the same to this. Do we have another flickering light we can put in here? Do I take Darker Nights into consideration when I build? Well, Darker Nights only affects exterior cells. It doesn't touch the interior cells at all. But I do take into consideration ENBs. Oh no, there's a Creative Cloud update. I try and balance the lighting between the ENB that I use, which tends to make things... I like dark interiors. I know not everybody does. I love dark interiors. So I try to balance it between the vanilla lighting and what... Because I consider my ENB to be pretty average darkness. And any mods that anybody has for lighting is going to, you know, is going to change that anyway, depending on what the mod changes. Like, I use... Well, to answer your question, I wouldn't worry about Darker Nights because it doesn't touch interior cells. The mod I pretty much use is Fading Signals. What is it? I can't remember the name of it. Fading Signals Interior Lighting Mod. If Colin was here, Colin could tell me the name of the mod. But I've used it since day one of playing Fallout 4 when I started modding it. And I just a simple, lightweight... lighting overhaul that does exactly what it says. And he edits the actual lighting templates and the image spaces, I think. But just the vanilla ones. So I don't touch the vanilla stuff. But when I'm setting my lighting and everything, I try and strike a balance between vanilla and what an ENB. Oh, DJ, okay, all your mods are exteriors. Oh yeah, you know, sorry man, I forgot you're doing settlements and stuff. I wouldn't worry about it so much because I think Darker Nights also just modifies the world's image spaces and the lighting templates. If you're not modifying those, I wouldn't worry about it so much. I don't think it actually changes light sources. Any mod that changes the values of vanilla lights, that's something else. But you can't... You'll drive yourself crazy trying to make it compatible or worry about every every possible mod configuration. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it much. Interiors enhanced, thank you. I knew somebody would know it. Do I use a custom ENB? No. I pretty much have fallen to Decent Plus as my ENB of choice because it makes things look beautifully sharp, because I think the vanilla game looks muddy and soft as hell. I don't like how soft and just boring everything looks. Decent ENB adds a lot of sharpness to things without oversaturation. Actually desaturates some things, but I've tweaked mine a little bit to make interiors and nights a little bit darker, even on top of the mods that I'm using. Alright, so I think that's all I'm going to do on this for now. Let me turn the ceiling back on. We didn't really get as much done as I thought I would. We did get some lighting done. Yeah, I haven't even touched the cave out here at all either. This cave lighting is completely temporary. It's not going to stay because it's pretty bad. I just literally just dropped it in there to have something. All right, I think that's still a little dim, but it's really hard to tell from the CK. So I think what we'll do is we'll jump in game. We'll go see what we did. I didn't want to do too much today without, because the way I do things, I'll do a little bit like this. I'll go see in game, see how things look and feel, and then I'll do a little bit more. I really wanted to put those stools there to match this, but I don't think we're going to be able to. If I put the stools in there, that'll cause problems with NPC pathing, I think. Where are we here? Oh. All right, yeah, I can't put those stools there. Oh well. All right. Tell you what, I'm gonna take another quick break here, just a couple of minutes, and I'm gonna actually get the game set to launch. Let's go in. We'll go in game. We'll take. It's a way you can catch bugs before. Exactly what DJX said. You don't want to get everything all set up and find out that you got a big gap in a wall or something that you're going to have to, because you can look around in here, it's like, yep, everything looks great, it looks perfect, and then you get in game and find that you've got a big gap in this corner over here that you didn't see. So it's good to do little bit at a time. Go in, check things out, do a little bit more, see how that works. And I'm also a big proponent of running your mod through Xedit as you're working on it. You can obviously wait to the end. I'm a big fan of just every so often just open it up in Xedit, run the cleaning filter, make sure that you haven't made any dirty edits, check it for errors. It's far better to catch that stuff as you're going along before the mod is done. If you run into a problem, it's easy to troubleshoot it. You know, if you're still progressing in certain stages of the development, then wait to the end and get, oh my god, it's throwing out 500 errors. If you do things in stages, you stand a less chance of that kind of thing happening. But yeah, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll jump in the game and just take a quick look at what we've done. And I really want to show you guys the subway cell that I've been working on, because I'm pretty happy with how it's coming out. And it's probably 3/4 of the way done, but we'll go take a look at that stuff. And do that in just a few minutes. Get a coffee, stretch your legs. We'll be right back. God, I don't think I've actually played Fallout 4 in over a month. The last time I did a Let's Play video was about a month ago. And they'll be back. Eventually get back to making the Let's Plays videos, but we're taking a little break from Fallout 4 for the moment, playing Outer Worlds. But, yeah, I had forgotten that every time I launch Fallout 4 and I have either the New Vegas or the Fallout 3 GEC running, they crash. I don't know why. They just do. Because they just work. So there's something they don't like about Fallout 4 running. But, alright, so let's jump into the safe house cell. I actually didn't get as much done as I thought we would, but that's alright. What else am I going to do on a Sunday afternoon when it's 20 degrees outside? I'm certainly not going out and playing in the cold. What the hell's the name of this cell? So, like I said, the lighting is temporary. It's not going to be anything at all. I still want to play with the cave lighting here, the lighting template, but this is where you end up. Oh, actually, I did change the image space in this. It's much darker now. I have no music in here right now, so this goes back to another cell. This is the load door, like I said earlier. So you'll come out here. I kind of like how dark this is, but I don't know if I'm going to keep it. Oh. So come up onto the water in here. Yeah, I'm not going to put dungeon music in until I'm actually done with the cell, because coming in, I don't want to hear it every time I come in doing the dev work. So this is temporary as well. This is going to be an actual, well, not an actual elevator. It's going to be a lot different, but it's just basically going to represent a elevator that the Institute's going to trash to prevent the railroad folks from escaping. So then we'll come in here. And I did put the little safe house sign on there, but I'm probably going to move that someplace else. I don't know yet. And, yeah, this is a bit too dark. This needs a little bit... Oh, yeah, this needs quite a bit more light in it. That's with the ENB. This is without. Let's close that door there. Still have a little bit... You can see that demarcation there from the light box. We're going to have to fix that. Oh, yeah, we have basically almost no light in here, so I'm going to have to work on that a little bit. I don't like how drastic that change is. So I'll have to even out the lighting a little bit. Hey, we got our working water cooler. Oh, that's... Did you guys see the bubbles? Look at that. That's pretty cool. I'd never actually seen this in use before. I didn't know it was a thing. It's actually got bubbles on it. That's pretty cool. Oh, here's our dummies over here. There's a Gwyneth Stout. There's Dandy Apples and some Psycho. Now, we can quit the game, load the cell back up, and when those respawn, there'll be something completely different. So the hall lighting is pretty much where I want things to be. This is the kind of the level I want. Low level light, or I could probably just match the lighting, the levels. Oh god, it gurgles when you walk past it. I didn't interact. It just randomly gurgles like a real water cooler. That's freaking cool. Look at that. That's pretty sweet. I'm probably just going to make the lights the same level as they are outside. That should take care of that. But yeah, this is way darker than I had intended it to be. But there's our splines that we did. Those look pretty good. There's the... let's get the light on here. I may put like nightstands with maybe little lanterns or something on them in here. There's our lockers. Foot lockers. Probably go and lock a couple of these up, and I'm obviously, like I said, I'm going to be tweaking all this stuff. So, yeah, it's a start. It's not a whole lot, but it's a start. Oh, we got to test the. Yeah, I did not know that was a thing. That is pretty freaking cool. Huh? It does a little bit of weirdness though when I turn my Pip-Boy, because I'm using Pip-Boy flashlight. When you turn the light on, the alpha channel gets all wonky. if you guys can see that, like it goes into like a cloaking mode. That's interesting. Let's test our cooking stove here. Make sure, yep, we can get in there and work, and that works fine. Okay, cool. So, all right, well, that's a start. It's definitely a start. I wouldn't want one of these in a player home, though. That gurgling would drive me nuts. 2 different types in the red rocket doesn't do anything. Well, this is from the Vault-Tec DLC. I didn't know this existed. Maybe this is before you were in the stream, Ferrex. Yeah, that's, if you're talking about the red rocket outside Sanctuary, that's a static one. Yeah, this is from the Vault-Tec Workshop DLC. I didn't know this existed. I was actually going to make one by taking the Vault, the water fountain, and swapping the mesh on it. But I forgot that I'm using the Vault-Tec DLC as a dependency for this, because some of the assets I need to use. I didn't know that this was in there, and I just dragged this in and did a material swap, so it was dirty, and it gurgles. That's awesome. I wouldn't want that in a mod, though. It would drive me nuts. Oh, that's really dark down here. So this is going to be the secret exit. Bookcase, and then I need to find a way to hide this button, because it's supposed to be a secret escape route. You don't want, a button. I might as well just put a sign that says press me. But that opens that wall section up, and then this goes over to the next cell, which is an escape tunnel. Yeah, that's pretty dark. But I am going to extend this wall section back a bit and put some like generators, some sort of machinery back there to make it look like there's a little generator or something going on. No, the Vault-Tec DLC one, it was pristine. I just did a material swap for it, for the because there's a vanilla material swap for the dirty one. I just swapped it out because I'm not going to have a clean, pristine one in here. Nope. All right. Well, that's pretty much the cell for the time being. Still got a lot of work to do on it. A lot of tweaking. I'll probably spend a good night working on the lighting. But I like how the splines came out. Those are exactly what I wanted. It's the right thickness. Those look pretty damn good. Let's check these out. Yep, that looks good. Everything lines up the way it should. It's right where I wanted them. Oh, let's go check this one in here with the broken light bulb. Yeah, that looks cool. I might make another spline coming off of this hanging down to make it look like it snapped when the light broke or something. Use the wind splines as exterior cells. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, that I assume that the wind ones were ones with physics. I've used those too. I used those, I think it was my Atom Cat's crib, in the exterior of that. It just made sense to anything labeled wind, it would just make sense to use outside. But, cool. Alright, let's, I think we're done here. Close things out. I'm going to have to wrap things up here shortly. Let's hop over to the subway cell I've been working on and show you guys where that is right now, because I'm pretty happy with how it's coming out. I can get the console command for it. I started working on this Friday. I took the day off. Oops, let's turn the Pip-Boy light off. So this back this way, there's an invisible load door here that it's an auto load door that just takes you back to the other cell. That's the hub. It's that big, it's going to be like a big underground city. Well, not big, but an underground city. Hey, Paul. You're still here. I just saw that you're heading out. Thanks for stopping in, man. Always good to see you. Appreciate it. Catch you next time. So yeah, we're gonna head down this way. Do I have... Oh, I guess I wouldn't know for sure. I don't know if I have a north marker on this or not. So, right now it's just ratty abandoned subway. And when I woke up Friday, none of this stuff was in here. I've done quite a bit of work since then. So we have a little side door here. And we got a bed and cooking station. There's some odds and then some junk. Now this is when I mentioned was talking about pack-ins before. This shelf and all the boxes and the clutter around it, that was a pack-in. Nobody ever notices me, but they noticed the Pip-Boy light. Yep. Yeah, this is one of those pack-ins. I just dragged it in, did a little bit of shifting things around, but it was a 10-second process to drag it in, position it, rather than go in and grab all those boxes and put them in all individually and all that. The Bobarovs and the Blammo mac and cheese, those were generated by those dummies that we used earlier. And this just goes, this is just kind of a dead-end space up here. Collapsed. And there's a collision marker here. You can't go any further than that. So that's that little space there. And then there's some trash and odds and ends all down through here. Yeah, I'm really loving the pack-ins. And we have a oh no, synth refugee with a synth component. Just gonna add some more barricade. Like this Far Harbor barricade, I'm gonna change that out and just put another junk wall there. We're gonna have some little barricades and things, and oh, we have another synth refugee that didn't make it. Didn't quite make it. Sad day for them. So if guys remember Maresti Station from Fallout 3, I kind of got some ideas from that for like this little setup here. And the Maresti Station is the one. What the hell's the vampire quest? What the hell's the name of it? Ties That Bind, I think it is, where you go for Arafu. You go find the vampire colony. The Maresti service tunnel cell that leads to their main hideout in the metro station gave me a lot of ideas for this cell. So this is I kind of got that, and then this is actually we have this collapsed subway tunnel here. So that's a barrier that way. Yep, the family, exactly. The one where you meet the family. So we have other things from dummies. These are, I think they were food dummies, but I just changed the level list to just spawn a couple different items from the junk lists. There's some more odds and ends there. And then some more use of pack-ins down through here, like this. Were these pack? No, I actually put these together. These aren't pack-ins. Here's that. I'll probably go and swap this out. It's that same pack-in we used before. I don't want to use them too much, especially in the same cell, because I don't want them to get samey. But there's just some. Oh, can I not? That's what I'm trying to do. Get that stuff. Oh, that must have been the Vault-Tec lunchbox. I forgot. That's an activator. I gotta go fix that. That's just the miscellaneous item. It didn't actually open up and give me a prize. That's just the miscellaneous item. So then I just got some other odds and ends here. So we got this tunnel. Access tunnel goes down this way. And this little area here, I also got some ideas from the Fallout 3 cell, the Maresti Station cell. This is going to be a chem station. It's actually a functioning chem station, one of my custom meshes, so you can get in there and do some chems. Every cell won't have workbenches, but a lot of them will. And there's some stuff there, some lockers. This was another idea I got from Fallout 3. It's a refrigerator with some boards on it, and the mine, the assault rifle, and the sledgehammer are all spawned with dummies. The weapons have quite a few dummies, which are great for leveled items. I thought this, I actually might, not for this cell, but somewhere along the line of the modders, I'm going to turn this idea into a workbench. like a weapons workbench. I thought that was pretty cool. Cash register in the broken fridge. That's also from Fallout 3. Yep, so this... I'll turn that radio off. And all these things here, the alcohol, the Vim, that's all from the dummies. This is the Nuka-Cola one that I showed earlier that I have my own leveled list that has the Vim and all the Nuka World stuff. No idea what I'm doing with the terminal yet, but I just thought this place needed a terminal somewhere. But yeah, this is all set. This is pretty much going to be somebody's hideout. And then you continue on down this way. More stuff from a pack-in. Aiming for a recommended level to play the mod? Nope. Since you're going to be starting off pretty much outside Olivia, the USAF Olivia, it's going to be probably kind of like the game. I haven't actually decided yet. I would say, I wouldn't go in level 1. Because I think some of the cells, I haven't decided how I'm going to handle for the leveling yet. But I'm going to say anywhere from 5 to 10 you should be fine to start with. I figure if you're starting, the first cell that you go to probably be USAF Olivia, and by the time you get over towards there, you're probably going to be level 5 or so anyway. But some of the cells I want to be challenging, so I might actually de-level them. So even if you're level 10, you could stand a chance to meet a level 50 enemy. I haven't decided how I want to go that route yet. I want to mix it up. I don't want everything to be the same. So some cells may be de-leveled, some cells may be easy. I haven't figured all that out yet. It's just some more. This I'm going to add a little bit more clutter back here. That's too clean. I noticed that earlier. But yeah, that stuff's some more pack-ins. Just some random stuff back here. No real loot. And then we've got more collapsed subways here. And yeah, I'm probably going to change this lunch pail out. I was testing it earlier. I just thought the idea of someone on their way to work and they lose their lunch pails buried in the rubble here. This was spawning with bloatfly meat earlier, so I'm going to change the level list for that. So it's all pre-war stuff. Like in older games when you had to come back later because it's too hard. Well, I'm looking into how to play with the encounter zones, so that I want things to be challenging, but I don't want them to be so grindy that you don't want to you don't want to use the mod, but I don't want it to be a cakewalk either. So I'm going to mix it up a little bit, I think, but I got to figure all that out yet. This area down here, which is pitch black and there's no fog or anything, I haven't touched this yet. I kind of went, actually did all this morning and last night. Got all this back here. The fire barrels are getting a lot of use in this game, in this mod. So then you come down here, and oops, I need to God mode it, because we have a turret up here. First turret that I've placed, which I may change out a little bit too. So there's this area here, a lot of clutter. We got puddle with some dripping water coming from the ceiling here. I just like that kind of stuff. I like that little touch. So a little bit of loot back here, nothing outlandish. And then this it took you long enough. Whoop. Took you long enough to realize I was there. So you'll have to get through him once I decide to change it out. And then we've got this will probably be locked. I'm going to figure out how to get the key. But this isn't actually going to be... This is an elevator load door that goes to the... What does this one go to? The governor's emergency shelter. It's basically that little bunker, little mini bunker that I think I walked through on one of those live streams I did. To use the NPC usable barrel where they warm up to the hands. Yeah, that's a marker. I'm going to be... Oh, yeah, I love that one, too. I use that... Every time I put one of these down, I'm going to use it. But it's just like a furniture marker. It's like an idle marker. But I'm going to be using it. Not on every one of them, but definitely on lots of them. So that's that's all the decoration on this cell right now. But I can kind of give you guys a quick look at where it's going. Nothing down here yet as far as lighting or clutter or anything. It's just stuff put together. Some temporary lighting. So then you come down into this subway car here. And this is all... Oh. And you go this way. And, you know, suffice it to say, you will not be alone down here. You will have company. You know, lots of friends to meet. Lots of friends here to greet you. So, there's all this. I'll fill this in with clutter and whatnot. And this store, I think, goes upstairs. Yes, this goes... Yeah, this lighting is way too bright. I literally just put default lighting in here. Can you find a girlfriend? Well, her name may end in .nif, but yeah, maybe you can. So it's gonna be like this, probably a little office space up here. I may put some workbenches in this area. I haven't decided yet. Some beds, but this is you can kind of see through the door here. This is just another collapsed entranceway there. And when you come down this way, just basically brings you back down to this side. It goes up, over, and around. And then this will take you back to another cell, which appropriately named Hell Junction. It's another subway cell. I think we did a run through of it a while back, but I'm not gonna go there this time because it's pretty big. So that's it. That's kind of where we are with this cell. I want to tackle the subway cells first, I think, because they are pretty basic. Got the, I mean, they're tunnels. There's not a whole lot you can do with them. But I'm going to tackle some of the subway cells first, the smaller cells anyway. Get some of the basic decorations and done. And this is all subject to change, of course, because I still have to do nav meshing and test for the NPC pathing and all that. Like, I'm concerned some of this might get a little bit... it looks cool, but if NPCs and companions have trouble navigating it, then it's going to have to go. So, well, yeah, that's going to probably do it here, guys. I have to go and do other things. I've actually been going for about almost an hour longer than I planned on, so... But, yeah, this is fun. I'm going to have to start doing more of these little CK streams. Super nice idea for when you're... Yeah, send it along, DJX. If I can work something in, I will. But, yeah, thanks to everybody for stopping in on a Sunday. Yeah, thanks, Adama. Yeah, I'm going to take off here, too. But, hey, it's good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in. Always appreciate it. But, yeah, we will catch you guys later in the week. We'll be streaming Outer Worlds again on Friday. And, yeah, next time I'm have a free weekend that I'm going to work on the mod, I'll probably just do the same thing. Maybe not be so chatty and get some more work done. But I like, you know, the kind of whole point of having a stream is to hang out and talk to you guys. Hey, Sinopus, I didn't know you were here. Did you just get here? If you said hi earlier, Sinopus, sorry I missed you, man. But hi and bye. But appreciate you guys coming and hanging out tonight. And we will see you next time. Have a great rest of your weekend. Catch you later.